DisJointed Productions.
Stage.
Oh no, I plan on it. Welcome to another episode of DisJointed Podcast. This is the podcast about how to go from a 9-to-5 life to one of creativity, or that's what it's supposed to be about. Normally, when my guest this week is on, we just talk about whatever the fuck is going on.
See if we
get kicked out of the Denver comedy scene. Even more so than we might have already have. Anthony Armstrong, everybody. Thanks for being on the show again, man.
Man, thanks for having me, motherfucker. I'm happy to be back. I miss you, goddammit. I told you had me on his regular guest once a month. Yo ass.
Yeah, you do. You know what? And not to get all freaking super emotional, man, but you put up a post a couple of weeks ago, and you're like, "Hey, I miss you because I haven't been out of mics a lot because I let a lot of shit get in the way of what I want to do, and there's no excuses for it." But either way, it was one of those things where. Because it'll get inside your head where I'm like, dude, nobody fucking... Like, there's times I've gone back to mics and there's a lot of cool people in the Denver comedy scene. They pretend like we've never had a conversation before. Mm-hmm. And it's like, well, he's not coming around. And I'm like, all right, I get it. So it was really, really nice to for you to be like, where the fuck you at? And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, because you know me, man. I'm an outlier, so I fuck with the outlier shit. I don't try to roll with the popular people, man.
Yeah. Oh, right now, are you doing anything? Because I know right now this week is High Plains, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I was supposed to. Well, I wasn't on it, of course, but
right.
I was supposed to do Thick Skin with Greg Baumhauer and Mike Stanley, but
right.
I got to go back to Chicago, so.
Oh, okay.
I ain't gonna be here. I won't even be here.
Oh, all right. That's yeah, it's kind of weird, man. I don't know why. Like, and I should be using this as more fuel for. I'm like, you know what? I've been in Denver long enough. If I would have done enough shows and been on that, I'm sure I might have been considered for High Plains. Or I've never even fucking. And it was one of those things where I'm like, you know what? Wait a second, Dave. What effort have you fucking put into this? And I'm like, oh, zero. None. All right,
dude,
so.
It's not even that, man. It's a lot of bureaucracy that goes on with the comedy out here, especially with that particular festival. I'm not on it. I got to listen to motherfuckers ask me every year, man, you ain't on High Plains? No. And they got a show called The New Negroes where it's all black comics. And I ain't know that motherfucker. I'm like,
what?
It is what it is, though, man. Like, I mean, that's their thing. I don't trip, you know what I'm saying?
No, there's plenty of festivals to go around and shit. So.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes it might actually be more beneficial, like, when you go out of town and comics who don't know you, haven't heard your stuff before. Like, when I went to Phoenix, like, a lot of folks were like, wow, dude, that was some really cool shit. And I'm like, yeah, because I'm used to the reactions around Denver. Not from folks who haven't seen any of my shit before, so... Like,
well, what I was told from, like, saying comics has been doing it for a while, once I got out the scene, it was like, you never really get the respect you deserve where you started.
Right.
It's like you have to leave and then come back.
Yep.
And then, then motherfuckers kind of give you a thing. But, a lot of people always look at you as an open micer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, it is what it is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I saw, like, I felt a little bit of that in Phoenix because there was a couple of people that kind of remembered me because I only did my first year and a half, 2 years in Phoenix.
Okay.
So,
So it wasn't really,
Yeah, it's not like, I mean, they...
Soft start.
Yeah, well, they saw me like when it brand fucking new.
Yeah.
Brand new. And everything just came out like sounded like shit. I found like an old video that I recorded, and I'm like, I'm going to record my set and watch it back, and then like, oh, goddamn.
Dude, yeah, I say, man, I didn't know I was Googleable, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My buddy was like, man, you can Google yourself, right? I'm like, okay, and I found some, like, dude, everything you've ever posted online, when you Google yourself, it'll come up, and it was like a video when I first started, like 6 months in, that shit was so bad. Like, it got laughs, but now that I'm...
You know what you're doing.
Yeah, now I know what I'm doing, I'm like, that shit was so bad.
Jeez. That's, it's kind of crazy. Well, I hope everybody on High Plains has a good show this weekend. I was kind of excited because the show that I was going to be on got moved because of the venue had a more lucrative opportunity, which not hating on that at all because I get it. Like, if for some reason that I can draw $10,000 in an evening, which will happen someday, just not anywhere anytime soon. I mean, then I might be like, dude, you cancel me for this shit. But at this point, I'm like, man, I could bring in a whole $20, son. Like $20 just flying out the door right now.
That's the game when you get started, man. You're going to get bumped by bigger people, bigger events. It is what it is,
You know what's so funny is that the last time I mean, this was so long ago, and it was like an open mic situation where I think it was at the Stone Pony. So Bertman was running it, or that was his mic and stuff. And it was so funny because, like, if somebody like if let's say if I'm waiting on deck, like if you or they say like, hey, I got to get out of here pretty soon and stuff. Can I go up soon? Or something like Derek Stroop, who is a fucking crusher, or somebody who's like a legitimate crusher says, yeah, and I get bumped for them. I'm like, yeah, of course, not a problem. No. But when it's like a drunk girl that really wants to get up to impress her friends, and you get bumped for the drunk girl, and I'm like, God damn it! And then like suddenly I got all egotistical, and I'm like, how dare you, sir? She's gonna walk half of this room before I get up there. You. Fucker.
Oh, that man! Oh my God, man! It's been some mics like that recently to where I don't know why. It's like they're being hosted by people that's been in comedy for a while, and they'll just put all the newbies up.
Right.
And I'm like, dude, they don't know what they're doing. People are gonna get tired of this shit,
yeah.
and it'll be like a packed room. And then by the time I go up, somebody else go because they want to put the better people in, and I'm like, you got to spread them out.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Put
Stagger
a new one. You know what I'm saying? A person that's that can know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Just to keep the flow of it going. But if you put like 5, 6 new people that aren't funny and there's no laughs for 20, 30 minutes,
right?
People gonna leave.
Yeah, or it's that, or comics who phone it in and they're like, I don't give it. Like if that's such a big opportunity, if there's a bunch of civvies in the crowd, you're like, holy crap, I can actually work on some older stuff and fine tune that instead of just coming up to work on new shit. Like if there's I always thought that was kind of a standard thing. If you see a bunch of people in the house and you're like, okay, I can work on like the stuff that I know already kind of works and see if I can fine tune that. But if there's nothing but comics, I'm like, oh, okay, well here's a couple new ideas and shit, but. It's really weird. It's weird when you, I don't know, everybody's got their different approach to working on shit.
I tend to just mix it up, man. It's like if I know if there, I know there's a joke I can do to get a laugh.
Yeah.
So it depends on the crowd. So I might start out with a little quick 1-minute joke that I know works to get a quick laugh. Then I'll put some new shit in the middle, and then I'll end with a joke that I know will get a laugh. Just to, because people don't remember the middle. They remember the beginning and the end, and after you fine. You know what I'm saying? So that's typically I just surround the bullshit with stuff I know works, and then get up out of there.
Oh man, the last mic I saw you at was Dick Black's on Thursday over at the living room.
Yeah,
that thing pissed me off, but for different reasons. I think because there were some. Maybe it's because I grew up relatively poor. And one thing that really pisses me off when somebody like I don't know anything about this kid's life, but it seems like somebody who's pretty well off, but likes to pretend that he's an artist and that he's poor like everybody else, even though he knows his family came from fucking 6 figures, and he's like, oh, I'm rejecting that. Oh man,
yeah, them type of people they got to learn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. And it was one of those things where he wanted to be provocative and drop an N-bomb, and it was weird because you were laughing.
Oh, that dude.
Yeah. You and Shanae were just like, oh, shit. Dick Black was like, what the fuck?
That type of shit don't bother me, man. That don't bother me. I don't get offended by words and shit. But I know what you mean, though. But yeah, like there's a lot of people out here in Denver that they're trust fund kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They can go to their parents and ask for anything they want, but they want to identify with us. You know what I'm saying? People, working class people or poor people. So they act. They dumb themselves down. But the same thing with women. You got very attractive women in comedy that want to make themselves look ugly, so they dress ugly and stuff like that. But when they're attractive women, because they don't want to be looked at as being attractive, they want to be looked at as being funny. But I'm like, you got to use everything you have in this game.
Right, and there's that's a double-edged sword, I think, because I remember. Like Rogan was, if you ever know on his specials for the most part, he always wears like a loose-fitting shirt for the most part. Yeah. And the reason why I think I think so, anyways. But he was telling me about this. Telling me, fucking weird. It was listen to. This is what happens when you listen to podcasts too much. You think they're talking to you. Holy shit! I need to get out and talk to people more. Fuck. No, he was talking about in his open mic days. There was this dude who was just yoked, fucking just really, really ripped, and. I think a club owner said like his stuff wasn't going over, and he says, "Yeah, you're because you intimidate all the guys because this guy was just freaking just like Schwarzenegger big, and so they're like maybe you should wear looser fitting clothes and stuff so it doesn't you seem like a little bit more of a middle ground." So I can kind of it's got to be.
But Rogan like 5'3", ain't he?
No, he's 5'8". He's the same height as me.
But he ain't no big intimidating.
No,
and he's not like
no, he's talking
cock
about
swole. He's just in shape.
Yeah, no, he was talking about this other guy that was a
okay.
bodybuilder way back in the day and stuff. So that kind of got in his head that, like, okay, and for a show, I mean, there's a balance.
Yeah.
You know, like if a girl comes up dressed out like in an evening gown, fucking hair all, you know, looking model hot, and then talks about how she can't get laid or she can't find a decent guy, then it's kind of like,
well, that's on her to understand what her, because you got to understand when you first walk on stage, people have already formed an assumption of what they think you're going to be,
right.
And it's up to you either shatter that or go into it. You know, but if you're smoking hot and you get on stage and you talk about how you can't get a man, and there's a lot of women that do that in this comedy scene now, and I tell them, you're
rejecting every guy in that friggin'.
Well, it's not even, you're alienating the audience because we can see how beautiful you are, and then you got to understand the way people think. Everybody takes things personally. So if you're sitting up this saying and we perceive you as being attractive, and you're saying you have a problem getting a date or whatever, then what happens to me? Then I definitely can't get one. You see
exactly. That's what I mean. Where it's kind of like if there's no decent guys out there. I'm like, you just rejected and alienated every guy in that freaking audience who thought you were attractive.
And then it's like you also can't get up there and be too cocky with it, like, oh, I'm a fan, mother, I get the fuck. You can't do that either. You know what I'm saying? It's like I say, you have to understand.
There's a balance in everything.
Yeah, this is what I tell people. And when you write a joke, you can't just think of, I think this is funny or whatever. You have to think, how will this be perceived by the audience?
Yeah.
You know, like, what are they going to take from this? You know, and me, I write a lot of controversial material, so I have to find, okay, why is this controversial? What can I say to offset the controversy of this? You know, I have to kind of look at it 360 because I want to be able to say what I want to say, but I also want to make it funny and I want it to go over well.
Yeah.
So you have to do a lot of in-depth thinking about what other people are going to think about what I say.
Exactly. What's their reaction? Okay, great. How do I get them to go against their own reaction?
Exactly.
Be like, oh yeah.
You know.
Which is, it's really. I know. I think we always end up talking about this, but the term self-censorship is really starting to pop up a lot more. And I'm hoping that as a species we're starting to turn a corner where, like, hey man, we're starting to, like, the whole idea of, like, you can't say this, you can't say, like, I understand the general meaning of it, but, like, the thought police I don't think is a good idea, which I see that a lot online, and just, you can't talk about that, you can't do that, this is like, okay, yeah, all right, I'll give you that, it's offensive, but you can't, like, I don't know, man. I grew up in a very religious house where you're not allowed to question ideas. You're not. Sorry, it's Satan. It's you believe in Jesus, and everything else outside of the church is going to steer you from the path, and it should be avoided. And you should not be talking to people who do not think like us. And there's it's all of that shit that's in there, and it's scary because, like, for a second there, for a little bit, the world's like, all right, we're going to step away from this. And then we just went, like, took a detour, went whack around, like, nope, we're still here. We're still here. We're still thinking this way.
It's not going to go away. It holds too much power, man. And then it gives you. They teach you. They don't teach you to believe in yourself. So there's so many people out here in the world trying to find something to believe in outside of themselves. And I mean, religion and God is the best because you literally can do what you want to do, repent, and then do it again, and you'll have a place of salvation in afterlife. You know what I'm saying?
After
and that's
dead.
what they sell. Yeah, that's what they're selling you. Like, suffer now, and when you die, you're cool. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I don't look down on the whole 72 virgins thing. I'm like, oh, these guys who grew up in a cave. I'm like, dude, how is it that, like, oh, you're going to have everlasting peace and everything's going to be great when? After you're dead. How is that any fucking different than being promised?
That's religion is suffer now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Get your... You know what I'm saying? Your reward later after you die.
Yeah.
Something that nobody can verify, you know what I'm saying? But people talk so in depth like they know what the fuck is going on. It just blows my mind. And this is my thing. I feel religion has its place.
Yeah.
But there's so many people that only believe in whatever religion they're a part of because it was handed down to them. And they were told not to look outside of it.
Yeah, that's
and my whole thing is that research what you believe in.
Yeah.
Learn all of it, and then when you say I still believe, then I can go with that because you know what it is. You're just like, fuck it, I understand that this is where it came from, but I believe it and it helps me. Then fine, go, but don't be ignorant about the shit and then just believe it, and then try to put it off on other people and make them believe it just because you were forced to believe it.
I call it like the YMCA effect, by the Village People. Like, everybody loves that song, but I'm like, do you know what that song's about? And they're like, yeah, it's about the YMCA, just having a good time. I'm like, no, it's about how it was used as a bathhouse in the freaking 70s, man. Now, if you know what that song's about, but you still dig that song because it reminds you of a happy time, and that's not what you're thinking about, but the thing is, you just enjoy when that song, you think of like when you're 12 years old at a roller rink or some shit.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give you shit about liking that song, but it's one of those things where like, oh, it's just a great song. I'm like, you have a blind appreciation of what the song is really about. And that's what I call the YMCA effect. Like,
dude, it's like,
I've known some people that stopped listening to that song once they found out what it was about.
That song, it's music, man. It sounds good. I sing this shit too, man. A bunch of gay dudes singing about fucking in the bathhouse.
Yep, exactly. Young man. Like, yeah.
And everybody knew it was gay. You know what I'm saying? It was obviously gay, but...
Oh, you know what? If you grew up in a friggin' small town, you had no idea.
Well, yeah, small town. That's a whole nother thing, man.
Yeah.
Just, dude, like, just how...
Well, it's I think kids growing up in small towns today, because they have the internet, they're not completely shut off as, let's say, like people were in the 90s,
Well, I think that's a big problem because I think that's what's wrong with a lot of people. That's why we're seeing such crazy shit go on. Like, crazy stuff goes on all the time. Yeah. But you got to understand, like, when you have these small towns before the internet, they only knew about themselves. They only competed with the people around them, which was pretty much in the same category.
Right.
And the stuff you see on TV, you can just say, oh, that's make-believe. That's not real. That's just TV, blah, blah, blah. Now with the internet, and you see everybody around the world, you see everything going on, and you see how you live, and you like, what the fuck? Like, I tell people, like, when I was growing up, I didn't know I was poor.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because everybody was pretty much in the same general financial bracket, except for a few people, like one or two people that was kind of uphill a little bit, but it was just like, whatever. Fuck them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But now you seeing these people living these super lavish lifestyles and stuff like that, and you're like, damn, I want that. So a lot of people are getting jealous, man. People are doing crazy shit to have money and things that they want, and it's, no one's working hard anymore. Everybody wants to do the quick whatever and get $1 million, and I'm like, dude, that's not sustainable.
Yeah, and on top of that, it's not necessarily going to make you happy. Oh, dude, okay, so at my day job right now, one of the things that I'm contemplating is starting working in a different position, because the people who work in the back of house, they're nice people. It's not like they're all assholes. They're not. But the young kids who cannot take criticism, cannot take pressure, and want to crash the whole restaurant every time they get upset. And I'm like, dude, like one of the other cooks the other day was like, man, you want to work for your money or you just want everything easy? And it's so funny because he's like, well, nobody told me. He's like, what? You fucking been here for you've been here for a month, man. Dude. How much time do you need? And it was coming from like the head cook who was back there at the time. And a lot of the other cooks don't like that dude, but I'm like, dude, the kitchen runs smoother when he's back there. And like, I hate to tell you, but you guys are fucking up. I'm like, well, these orders keep coming in. Yesterday, I almost walked out in the middle of the house and just been like, excuse me, everybody, can I get your attention? One of the cooks back there says you're ordering food too fast. Can you slow it down? I said, no fucking way. All right, so I'm sorry, dude. Get your ass back in. Like, I think...
Man, I work with people like that, too. I'm like, dude, like, when I go to work, I work the best of my ability. I do what I can do, and that's it. But you got some people that come to work and they expect to just not work, and I'm just like, you here, like, I'm not saying kill yourself. Don't kill yourself for a fucking job, but do the job you're paid to do. Do what you can do, and then go to fuck home and leave that shit behind.
Yeah.
But you got people coming to work and they just like, well, I've been working too hard. Well, you're not working too hard. You're working steadily, which you should throughout the day.
Right.
A motherfucker expect to do, it's like I work in a hospital. People expect to do a patient, sit down for 30 minutes, and then do another one. Right. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you can only do one patient at a time, so just do that patient, do the next patient, and just keep going. And you only doing 8 hours, then you go to fuck home.
Yeah.
That's it.
I don't know. I think something happened. I remember, like, I didn't believe this when I was younger, but they're like, the prime work years for anybody is actually it's not when they're younger, it's when they're in their 40s. Like mid-30s to 50s
shit.
And stuff. No, because the reason why, because at that point you've already established what your pace is. You kind of like, I'm going to go in here, I'm going to do the job, and I tend to freaking move faster than most of the people that I've worked with, and I'm like, I would always tell new hires, I'm like, you got to be able to move faster than the 42-year-old fat guy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, if you can't do that, because that's the pace, and there's a lot of folks that just, I don't know, you know what? It's the high school mentality where they're expecting something. If they just kind of stick it out for long enough, eventually they're going to graduate onto something else. They don't realize, like, dude, there's no graduation coming.
Yeah.
There's no graduation. There's no summer vacation. It's just the next day.
And that's the thing that blows me, man. People that stay in jobs that they hate forever, and they just sit and complain. I work with a lot of people like that, and I'm like, you've been here for 15 years. You could have done something to get the fuck out of here by now.
Yeah.
You know, and I go to work every day, and I'm happy knowing that I don't have to be here. I have other options,
right.
And I won't be here for long. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm creating a path to where I'll be able to do what the fuck I want to do in the next 5 years. Whatever I want to do, I'll be able to do that. You know,
dude, is it weird? Is people? Do they ever look at you like you got some type of weird superpower? They're like, you doing a show? You still doing that?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
How's that work? How's that going?
Dude.
And you're like, dude, it's working just fine. This is the reason why I'm happy here, because I know this isn't my life.
Yeah.
I got something else.
And exactly. And people come. I don't know why people feel like they're so trapped in these jobs, man. I'm like, even if you, let's say you want to do something else, even if you take one class a semester. Mm-hmm. You're still working towards something different. Mm-hmm. And that gives your brain a different thing to focus on other than, fuck, I got to go to this job every morning. I got to go to this job in the morning. It blows my mind. People that work jobs for all these years, and they're like, well, I want to do this. Well, why weren't you slowly going towards that while you were here? Why were you here this whole time not doing it, just complaining about it?
Yeah.
But what I learned to do, people like to complain. People like to be miserable.
Oh, it's easy to talk because it's focus. It brings that, like, oh, I could focus on this. And I work in fucking food service, man. You know how many people that I see, like, they're so happy when you fuck up on an order?
Yeah.
They are so happy because they're like, oh, God damn it. Yeah. What? And I'm like, I stop trying to pretend like you're angry. You feel now you have something to talk about. You
exactly.
Son of a bitch. Like, you're going to go back to the office like, you'll never believe what they did to me at the restaurant.
Yep. Dude.
I asked for this. They gave me that. So I'm going to complain about this. This isn't the end of this.
It is so many people do. Their job is their life.
Mm-hmm.
And they come, they do silly shit there to create some type of turmoil just so they can have something to talk about.
Yep.
And those are the most miserable motherfuckers on the planet. And
yep.
you guys got to steer clear of them, man. I come in there, I'm happy. The motherfucker like, why are you so happy? You know, and then I invite them to see my shows. A couple of people come to see my shows, and they're like, "You actually good," you know? Because I don't know why when people know somebody that does something they're good at that's kind of outside the scope of regular stuff, they're surprised. And I'm like, all the motherfucking actors and musicians and comedians you see, like, they were regular people at one point in time. They had to work their way to the level they're at. They didn't just start out like that. You know?
Dude, the Crit Hit show that I did in Phoenix, like, my cousin's in the back of the room. He's laughing his ass off, and when I get back, I'm going to sit next to my cousin, and he's looking at me like, that was really good. And part of me was like, motherfucker, I've been doing this for a couple of years, man. You think I'm going to come down? Like, I appreciate that you're complimenting me, but at the same time, goddamn, you know, because everything in my family's is a subtle backhanded compliment and everything. Yeah. Like, hey, you're actually funny, and I'm like,
it's like they expect you to be bad. Like, they don't even come in expecting you to be good. They come in expecting you to be bad.
Dude, in all fairness, that would have made it the happiest thing if I went up there and ate shit. Because he would have videotaped it. Like, hey, you know what this is? What? This is your birthday present for until you die. I'm just gonna send this to you every year.
Dude, my motto now is people are ridiculous. People are fucking ridiculous, man. And like I tell people, I'm not a smart dude. I don't read a lot. Well, I do. I've been reading a lot lately. But I study human nature, dude. I watch humans, how they interact, what the things they do, how they respond to certain shit. And it's just amazing, dude. It's absolutely amazing how people are. And you don't have to be that way. Dude, you can create your own reality. You can... You know what I'm saying? I don't want to sound like a self-help person, but you can.
Hold on, let me light my candle for this.
No, man, I'm telling you, man, you just got to get your mind right. Get out here and learn shit.
And learn how to fucking fail. That's what everybody's kind of afraid of. Like, they're afraid of... Dude, okay, so I've been spending more time with my guitars and shit, right? Mm-hmm. And occasionally I'll sit outside, and one of my neighbors like, oh, man, I really love the guitar. I'm like, you could still learn how to play. You just spend $100 to get yourself just a starter one, and they're looking, they're like, I don't know. And I'm like, no, I get that fear because everybody wants to hope like they'll be like Mozart, who was a prodigy at the age of like 4. As soon as they put him down on a piano, was able to figure shit out. My brother was able to do that. My older brother Drew. I can't. I had to fucking spend a lot of time sounding like shit. I still sound like shit, but it's that freaking journey that actually makes you a better person. Which is, I mean, if there's one thing I think we're trying to get across to anybody who's listening to this is. Stop making excuses. You just got to get out there and be able to fail, man.
It's also society and people too, because there's a stigma like, oh, you're too old to be doing this, or you shouldn't be doing that. Why are you doing this? And it's like, because this is my motherfucking life.
Yeah, like everybody was supposed to be a success by the time, like, what, a year after they got out of high school.
And that's not even. And I don't even understand that. That's not even a realistic thing. I mean, yes, there are certain people that, by whatever means, they became whatever by 20 or whatever. But most people don't make their fortunes till 40, 50 years old. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. You got plenty of time, man. But if you buy into what society puts forth for people, you will be working a fucking job until you're 65 years old, you retire, and you fucking die.
Yep. Or you get so bored and you sit at home and you realize, holy shit, the only reason this marriage worked is because I wasn't here. I gotta go out. And that's what, you know what happens? That's when you start driving a cab. All right, I seen it happen with so many old retired guys and stuff that are like, oh, I'm just gonna be a Lyft driver now, and I'm gonna do that because they need something to do. They don't know how to relax.
That's why retired people die, because their purpose was their job, and once that purpose is done, literally, it's like, well, I don't have any more purpose on this earth. I'm finna fucking die. Yep. That's why you always give yourself something to strive for, some type of purpose, man. And you'll live a long, and you know what I'm saying, take care of yourself. You'll live a long, healthy life. But like, this people are just miserable now, and I get it, because I feel like, and especially now with the internet, because I feel like society gave people the idea of the American dream. Yeah. That's fucking gone. Right. You know what I'm saying? That is gone. I mean, it once upon a time was a thing, but now they're shutting those doors on people that want to be entrepreneurs and this, that, and the other. You know, they're making it now to where if you want to start a business, you got to have so much motherfucking money to where, you know, you could take a few $100s, start a little something, and then work your way up. But now it's like this, that, and the other. And now it's so bad to where it's like, I've seen companies to where they've started a business, they've become successful, and they've rivaled one of these big companies, and the big company comes in like, well, we'll give you $2 million for your business. Like, no, well, this is my thing. Okay, we're just going to make it hard for you to fucking breathe. We're going to let you go under, then we're going to buy you anyway. And that's what they're doing to a lot of these small companies. So, you know, they come make you offer you can't refuse. You refuse it, then they make it so you can't fucking function, and they're going to buy you out anyway. Yeah. So they're taking away the idea that I can be something bigger than what I am. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know, it's weird. This is and this was just a clickbaity article that I scrolled past on Facebook, but it got me thinking. They're like, studies show, and I hate those when it starts off. Studies show means like I talked to 3 people, I studied it, you know. But the like children who were spanked or more likely to be violent. I'm like, just to let you guys know. And I'm like, okay, so I should probably do that if I want my kid to have at least a little bit of violence in the system, because you I'm trying to debate like whether if you kind of need that or not, because in this world, the reason why is that violence and aggression is always going to be out there. So are you going to be the one that gets picked on, or are you going to be the one to defend yourself, or the one who's going to pick on somebody else? Like it's and I know that's a very cut and dry, very simplistic way to look at it, but it's one of those things like those violent urges are in everybody, whether or not you're able to actually control it and know about it in your life. It's kind of like, I always assume, okay, like somebody who grows up in suburbia and a church community, which is like uber safe and regulated, and everybody's all happy and church social and all this other shit. And then suddenly they go to some place, either whether it's a small town or any city and stuff like that, where violence is really apparent. And how are they going to really deal with that? You know what I mean? So it's kind of like and the reason why I brought this up is that even in response to like these businesses and stuff, right? So if somebody's going to go buy you out, I'm like, all right, you just going to roll over, or well, we're going to try to choke things out. Even okay, I'm going to find a way to choke you back. I'll find a way. You know what I mean? So
I want to be on your side, but man, dude, these motherfuckers are ruthless. Yeah, these motherfuckers are.
That's on a
ridiculous.
different.
Yeah, that's. But that's what people don't. People don't believe there are evil motherfuckers in this world that will just do shit to you because they can.
Yeah.
People don't want to believe that. But it happens all the time. It happens every motherfucking day. You know, it's just back to whoopings. Like, I was whooped as a child growing up. And I was like, whoop kids. I don't think it should totally be taken away, but we need to understand how child's minds develop.
Yeah.
You know, and when you whoop a child, they associate it with something.
Yeah.
So you got to make sure if you're whooping your child that they're associating the whooping with the action that they did, and you don't want them to do the action again. I tell people, don't whoop your kid the first time they do something, because they're just children. They're trying to learn the world.
Yeah.
You sit down, you talk to them. Hey, don't do this. When your child starts lying to you, you beat their motherfucking ass because you want to associate lying. No. So that will be in their mind like, I can't lie because that hurt. Yeah, that hurt last time I lied. You know what I'm saying? But you don't whoop your kids. You know, and black folks, this is what I learned. You know, I was raised by my mama. And it's just, you know, black people are just black people, I don't know. Well, I'm going to say people in general. They take their stress out on their kids because that's the only motherfucker that they can go to, say whatever the fuck they want to, beat their ass, and there's no real repercussions for it.
Right.
And that's where whoopings got a bad rap at, is that motherfuckers beating their kids senseless because they had a bad day at work. You know what I'm saying? Same way you beat your wife senseless because, you know what I'm saying, you had a bad day at work.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't do that, man. If you're going to whoop your child, it should be for a specific reason, but you should talk to your child more than you whoop them.
Yeah, exactly.
Whooping should be the last draw. It shouldn't be the first one.
I totally agree with that. Or unless he's like 13, because as soon as boys start getting testosterone in their system, they're going to try to test everybody.
Yeah.
Then at that point, I think no, you should let them know exactly how helpless they are.
That's a nature thing. To where if your father's in the household and your male child comes of age, he's going to test you. That's just how it is. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with the women. The women they gonna do the same thing between each other. The girl is gonna test the mama. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it is. But I believe that all children should go through self-defense, weapons training, all this shit. Because when you have knowledge of that stuff and you have confidence in your ability to defend yourself, you're less likely to use it.
Yeah.
Because men should be logical over everything else. Physicality should be the very last thing you have to get into.
Right.
You know, you should be able to talk any motherfucking thing out versus trying to whoop a motherfucker's ass.
Yeah.
Because, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a scary motherfucker. I can fight, but there's always going to be a dude bigger than me, can fight better than me, this, that, and the other. So how do I get past that? I talk the motherfucker down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If I can't talk you down, then, we can fucking fight, but I'm going to try to talk you down first other than trying to get into it because somebody can get killed or somebody's life could be ruined.
There's
because
real consequences.
Exactly.
You actually understand that.
Exactly.
I always think about, there was that British kid who was like 18, 19, whatever, that he was in vacation in Greece and stuff. It was like after he graduated high school and just... Because apparently that's what rich kids do. And either way, apparently he was talking shit to this guy who was a bouncer, had like a girl on a moped or whatever. And he's like, yeah, one of these days you're going to work for me. So this guy's like, oh, gets off his little moped, boom, clocks this kid, knocks him out. And the kid dies like 2 hours later because of a concussion. Yeah. And it was funny because what was funny about it was, like in the article, his friends were like, he was trying to de-escalate the situation. I'm like, no. It was too late after that point because he didn't understand the consequences of trying to talk shit to somebody that's not online, that's right in front of you, and then violence is going to ensue. You know, like it's one of those things that... Now, that dude's dead, and that dude's going to jail for manslaughter. You know what I'm saying? So right, exactly. So nobody won in that situation. But it's like there's a bunch of lives ruined out of that.
But I think the problem with... And there's this whole thing with hypermasculinity. That's not a real fucking thing. That's a made-up term that people have come up with. When reality, what it is just a lot of femininized ass men with feminine attitudes. You got it's these dudes having these overly emotional reactions to just simplistic shit like a woman. But we're the proprietors of physicality, so we're jumping on motherfuckers, we're fighting motherfuckers. They jumping on women now and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? That type of stuff. That's not a masculine thing. That's a feminine, emotional thing that they're doing because I'm gonna say 95% of the men in this world are raised by women. Even if you in a household with the father and the mother is still the main person taking care of the child.
Emotional support, it's but it was weird. I remember because when I was going through therapy years ago, the doc was like, no, your mothers tell you like how to get in touch with those emotions, but really the father that's where you learn how to process that shit.
Exactly.
And it all comes from the dad because it's basically you got this well of all this energy, and then the father figure, whether it's your biological dad or maybe a coach or sensei or whatever, he's the one who's like, all right, so you have all this energy. This is the proper way to focus it. This is what's this. And, like,
Well,
I think when I got to look up exactly, because I'm sure there's 15 different terms for hyper masculinity, but I remember the first time I heard the term toxic masculinity, I'm like, oh, that's a bullshit term right there. I don't even know what they're talking about, but like there's a certain type of fucking meathead that you attitude that you need as a man, I believe, right? Like when, okay, like my car broke down like a week ago, right? There's a lot of things that are fucked. A lot of my income that's fucked when that car is down, right? And I'm really pissed at myself. I'm pissed for not taking the car better, even though I was doing a pretty good job. All this other stuff, right? And I'm getting emotional about it. And Jenny, my wife, is being supportive and everything. But there's that voice of my father in the back of my head that just says, like, get up. And you're like, fuck, right? I'm gonna fix this problem. I gotta do this. I gotta stop feeling for a moment. Look at this logically. Make a plan. And then once I do that, okay, you can go feel however you want to feel after this, but fucking make a plan first. And it's that kind of ability that quote unquote toxic masculinity.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, and that's what men give you. And this is what I believe. This is I believe what should happen with child rearing. The mother should have the child until that child is done breastfeeding. And then the mother should go, and the child should go with the father and get that masculinity that he needs from him, that logic. Because with women, it's all how they feel. Yeah. It's an emotional reaction to everything. Something happens, oh my God, I feel this way. Men, we're logical. We look at this like, okay, this is happening. I need to do this to stop this from happening.
Right.
And that's the way a man's mind is supposed to work. Men shouldn't be having these emotional reactions to everything and getting fucking crying and trying to fight and shit. That's not what we do. We're only supposed to fight when we're in protection of something else,
right,
or ourselves,
right,
not when things aren't going right in our lives. You know what I'm saying? That's a woman thing. That's what women do, and that's what men are doing because they're getting all this feminine energy from the women they're being raised by. And even when, like I said, we've given society to women, to where a woman can tell a man, no, don't do that to that child. This is my fucking child too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you're bitching them up. Because the thing about that's what they doing. They bitching the child up. Because the thing about with men, the reason why we are the way we are, because we have to do the evil. We have to go out to the world, be able to kill shit to protect motherfuckers, so you don't have to, because you can't go out and kill like that, because it's going to fuck you emotionally. I have to be able to go out there and do this, and with my logical mind, I'm doing this for this reason. You know what I'm saying? To protect and provide for my family. Whereas with women, they don't understand that because they're emotional, and that's what they're giving to these children, to these male children. It's like, dude, it's fucking up the world. And it's like it's commonplace in society that when you have strong, righteous men, society prevails. But now we've given it over to the women, to where it's like women have the ability to do anything they want to do. They don't have to be responsible for their actions, this, that, and the other. That's where the whole PC thing came from.
I think that's starting to...
it's coming back.
It's coming back because I
think
that
pendulum is swinging back the other way.
Oh, yeah, because I think there's a lot of freaking super strong bomb-ass chicks out there that are going like, wait a second, because every time they see some other gal like not taking responsibility for their emotions, just doing some evil shit, they're like, hey, wait a second, she's fucking it up for everybody. It's the same reason, like the way the guys are like, you see one drunk asshole at the bar and everything, he's like hitting on like just being a freaking prick, and you're like, yo, you need to settle down because you're fucking it up for everybody, you know?
Dude, you just need to understand, in the world there are going to be dickhead motherfuckers. It is what it is. But you can't go out, meet 3 dickhead motherfuckers and be like, all men are dickheads. That's what they do. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you ain't met every motherfucking man in the world. Right. You know what I'm saying? So don't do that motherfucking shit just because a couple dudes do some dumb shit because they was raised the wrong way. They don't know what the fuck to do. You know? But it just, you get tired of this shit after a while. But that pendulum is swinging back because I've been like there's a lot of just groups online to where they're sick and tired of this shit. Yep. And now they're trying to teach men. There's men that's so fucked up. And this is fucked up. I don't agree with this. That have you seen the Go My Own Way, or the men that's going away from women?
No.
Or the incels?
I got a bunch of new shit about incels, but
yeah, like that's dude. You as a man, you have to have the ability to go out and talk to women. I know they fucking ridiculous, but as a man, your logical mind has to go out and be able to do that. That is a evolutionary thing that men need to have. Yep. The ability to get pussy.
Yep. Because guess what? Your genes ain't going to survive if you can't figure it out. And Like,
Exactly.
You either do that or you either die alone or you turn into a monster or just start taking shit. Either way, we don't need
exactly. That's what happens.
Either way, we don't need either one of those versions around. But like,
and it's just
the thing is weird is what's so funny about it is that like, and this was a bit that I was working on where these guys are pissed off because they can't get laid. I'm like, oh yeah, that's fucking everybody, idiot. Like, do you think do you think I wanted to be charming? Do you think my voice normally sounds like this? It really sounds like this. But nobody wants to fuck a guy. Nobody wants to suck this guy's dick. So guess what? I had to fucking adjust. You know?
Exactly, and that's what it. And what happens is we teach men the wrong way because, like I say, we have women teaching men how to go get women, and you don't know because, like you say, as a man, I have to be witty, charming, fun. I have to have a personality to get you. That's why very attractive women aren't funny. You don't have to be funny.
Exactly.
You know, fuck what you say, goddammit. It's not the thing that women can't be funny. You just don't have to be funny to get what you want. I have to have a personality to get what I want. You know what I'm saying? So it is what that's just a thing I've developed or thing men have to develop to get pussy because that's what the fuck we got. That's what the fuck we want.
You know what? And just to be fair, I kind of feel the same. Like, oh man, years ago I was at Sushi High, right? And there were some comics from LA and very, very attractive model-looking type dudes, and they go up there talking about how they can't get laid.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like. That's because you have no personality, you idiot.
Well, no, that's a person that's just trying to say what they think people will identify with. But we can see how attractive you are, motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not blind, you idiot.
Exactly. And what men need to, and I see these dudes that's trying to like be pretty for women. You do not have to be pretty for a woman. The best thing about women is that they can love. We're visual, so we're looking for traits that we like. Whatever you like, titties, ass, hips, whatever. That's what we're looking for. We add the rest of it later. So we look for the sexual component of it, and then we add everything later. Whereas women can love a man beyond their looks. They can fall in love with your wit, your intelligence, the fact that you can make people laugh. If you're respectable, if people respect you, they can fall in love with all of that type of shit.
Because you're driven about something that you're passionate about. They will fall in love with.
They will fall in love with that. Whereas we don't give a fuck. You got women out here trying to do shit like me. They're trying to like the fact that I'm a strong, independent woman. Bitch, I don't give a fuck. Can you suck a dick? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't give a fuck because women out here getting degrees, houses, and thinking like this is going to get a man. No, it's not. Because now what you've done is you've raised yourself above most other men. So now, and a woman will not fuck down if she can help it.
Right.
She will not go down financially or sexually if she can help it. Well, now I take that back. She will take a dip sexually, but she won't do it financially. She will not take a step back lifestyle-wise to be with a man. And what happened was that, you know, they held men back and pushed women forward. So now you have these women that are excelling above men, and now they can't find good men because they can't find a man that matches what they're doing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And even if men that are up there like that, they've already got their woman. Somebody attached themselves to them a long time ago, and they're married or committed. So you got all these super successful women that are miserable because they can't find men because they thought by doing all this they were going to get a man.
Yeah, it's a different. Yeah, completely. That's a really interesting point. There was the commercial for Match.com, and there was this girl. She's all excited about finding somebody, and it shows her like skiing. And then skydiving, and then she's at a restaurant drinking this white white wine, all dressed up and everything. And all I'm looking at, I'm like, fuck, this bitch is expensive. Like, I don't want that bitch. Like, what? Like, dude, listen, if you saw a chick out there sitting at home playing PlayStation or at a Chili's, you know, drinking like a 2-for-1 margarita or something, I'm like, oh, that girl seems interesting. That's more my speed.
Dude, that's why.
I think I see your problem, miss. Like,
dude, they're trying to put forth this idea in society of what you're supposed to go after in a woman. And society goes against nature. And that's our biggest problem right now is that society is made up. It's dictated by the people that run it. And the reason why it's like that is because nature is not fair. It's not nice. It doesn't give a fuck if you're this or if you're that or if you're this. Nature is nature. Whereas society comes is like, oh, well, don't pick on that person because they don't have any legs. They're crippled. So we perpetuate mediocrity in our society.
Sorry, I just thought about Tyree.
Shout out Tyree.
Yeah, oh, fucking powerful Tyree. But yeah, no, it's so funny. Like, speaking of which, like, as soon as you see that guy.
But I'm just saying, like, because if you think of it in terms of nature and a pack, if wolves did what we did, they would be eliminated. They would be killed by other motherfuckers. But since there's nobody above us that's really coming down on us, we get to perpetuate mediocrity in our society. But what we're doing is that we're kind of thinning out ourselves as humans, because you got all these mediocre motherfuckers reproducing, making more mediocre motherfuckers, and it's just getting worse and worse and worse and worse.
Idiocracy coming through.
It's like we go against strength in our society. It's like if you're a strong, independent motherfucker that don't need anybody, people shit on you.
Yeah, there was I know he's a controversial person on the internet, but Jordan Peterson was talking about how, like, as soon as you put value on anything in any type of society, you've immediately created a hierarchy.
Yeah.
And there's some people that are just going to be better at it. Like, not everybody. There's only very few, like LeBron James or, like, pick a football, or whatever sport athlete. Not everybody has that gift of genetics. So there's a hierarchy and stuff, right? Now, granted, and I'm paraphrasing the shit out of this, but, like, a conservative mind will value the hierarchy more than the liberal mind will, right? But the thing is, there's supposed to be a balance, because if you value the hierarchy so much, there's always going to be people that get left out. So there has to be, and then they'll be unfair to whoever's at the bottom. So you kind of do need both, But I think we're going to one extreme to the other.
As humans, we're going to create a hierarchy no matter what.
Yeah.
If we take race, sex out of everything, you should put a bunch of people, a bunch of men in a room. Let's say they're all one color. All look the same, this, that, and the other. We're still going to find a way to put one person above the other. Like, oh, that person's smarter. Yeah. Oh, he talks. He's more articulate. He runs faster. We're going to find a way to put this person above that person. So there's going to be. That's how we are.
Yeah.
Nature-wise, we create hierarchies. And I follow Jordan Peterson.
Yeah.
And I like Jordan Peterson. He's a very intelligent person. But what happens with these super intellectual people is that you can't tell them shit. They always got an answer for everything. And the thing about Jordan Peterson, what I don't agree with, is that he's only preaching from his perspective,
right? From
where he came from, and that's what makes me so mad about. And I don't like the fact that we put labels on conservatives, liberals, this, that, and the other, because that means you're separating yourselves, motherfuckers. When humans have been humans since humans have been humans. We do the same shit over and over and over and over again, and we try to categorize this shit as different stuff. It's all the same shit. So we need to come together and find out what's best for everyone, the whole, and be okay with the motherfuckers. Like, look, this is just the way it is. I'm sorry that you can't be LeBron James, but it is what the fuck it is. You can be good at something, but you just can't be good at that. That's not your path.
So we're not gonna we'll tell you what, in order to make things fair, let's only have he can only play for 3 minutes a game. So they made me so mad, man. Look, they shut down this cheerleader program because they wouldn't let this fat girl chill.
She wanted to be on the top of the pyramid. If you eat your fat ass off that bitch, be the base. Let us jump off your fat squishy ass. But that's the ridiculous stuff. And the parents go and make a big fuss. And do you understand what you're teaching this child right here?
Yeah. That if you bitch about everything, you can lower the bar for everybody. I'm like, no.
No, they're teaching that if you pitch a fit instead of working hard to get what you want, then people will succumb to what you're bitching about. When that only works in school, you're going to go out into the world and ain't no principals, ain't no teachers. You just got to deal with that shit, and that's why so many people are breaking down, because they're taking away coping mechanisms.
Yeah, and that's like I was talking about, even look at my day job. There was I could still see that high school mentality where they're like, "Well, this job is too hard. I need something way to make it easier." I'm like, "No, you need to rise to the occasion. Is what you need to do. This is what part of being an adult is." But that's funny you mentioned the heavy girl, because the more I've been working out, the more I've been dieting, and so is Jenny. By the way, you've been here many times and stuff. This living room never looks even anywhere close this actually picked up and stuff. It's because the more healthy that we've been getting, the more we've been wanting to take care of life and stuff. And one of the things I've been doing, these little cooking videos and stuff on Facebook. And there's one thing I know this probably hurts a lot of folks and stuff who are into the whole fat acceptance thing, where I'm like, I get it. You should actually feel at least, confident in who you are. And I get that. But when I see folks who are in Walmart and their leg is like freaking really gross because they haven't walked and they've got rigor mortis setting in because they're so heavy and diabetic and all these other things. Where I'm kind of like, at what point is this acceptance killing you, man?
And that's my point right there, because it's not an acceptance thing. It's people use that as a ploy to not lose the weight, to not work. Oh, I'm happy with the way I am, and that's fine. Be happy with the way you are, but work towards getting better, because it might be cool as hell to be fat when you're 20 and 30. Wait till you're 50 and 60. Yeah. I work at a hospital. I see these people come in, and I had this lady come in. This lady her hips was so wide she couldn't fit in the machine.
Oh, wow.
And I told her, I'm like, I'm sorry, lady, but your overall weight limit, we can't get you in. She got mad at me.
Yeah.
Like, I made the machine specifically so her fat ass couldn't fit in that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I didn't do this to you. You did this to you. And I'm pretty sure you went through life like, I'm happy I'm comfortable in my skin. Now you ain't.
Yep.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, you need to prepare for the future, man. Understand that obesity, you can have regular blood pressure, everything. Your vitals, everything can be fine. Obesity causes inflammation in the body, which is the leading cause of any disease.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So even if you feel great, that shit is affecting your insides, and it's going to affect you to one day it just, okay, now we ready to fucking kill you. Yep. Or now we ready to give you something that you can't get rid of.
Right.
So when I talk shit, I'm not talking to you to put you down. I'm talking to you because I want you to get better, man. And things about it, like, a lot of people are miserable because of that stuff, and then they act like they aren't miserable. And it's like, if you would just lose the weight, you would feel so much. You feel better. It gives you the ability to be more determined in what you do. It gives you a lot of things that you need to accomplish the things that you want.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the small stuff, you ain't got to do a lot. Really, because people eat terribly, dude. And
that's a big part of it, man.
Dude, the food that we eat is so fucked up. It is so fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you really have to be conscious about what you eat. A lot of people just eat to feel full. They aren't eating to nourish themselves.
Yeah.
They aren't getting the vitamins and the minerals that they need. They're just eating food like, okay, I'm full. I've given my body something to process.
Carbs and bread and stuff, so I feel full. And I'm like, yeah, you're not really up. One of the things that, because I was just like spitballing when I was making these little cooking videos where I'm like, if there was a fire and you needed to run, would you be able to?
Exactly.
If somebody that you care about was being attacked and you had to rush to help them, could you do it? If somebody, the thing that it kind of was scared me, like, let's say if somebody was trying to abduct, like, one of my nieces or nephew, and I had to run after that car or something like that, would I be able to? If the answer is no, then it's like, fucking, like, okay, that should be reason enough to actually keep working, And
what I do is because I lost almost 30 pounds in the past 4 or 5 months.
Wow.
And what I do is I do what they call intermittent fasting. I don't know if you know what that is.
I heard about it.
Yeah.
I haven't done it yet.
I eat everything I'm going to eat, I eat in a matter of 4 hours, and I don't eat again until that time period comes again. And because I came across it because I was researching fasting as in relation to religion.
Okay.
Because I know what fasting is, but I really didn't know why people did it.
Yeah.
And what it is that, so when you fast, what you're doing is you're forcing your body, you're depleting your body of nourishment to force the weaker cells in your body to die off, and the stronger cells will remain. And when you put nourishment back into your body, it will fortify those stronger cells, and those stronger cells will divide, making you healthier overall. Also, whenever you eat something, it's raising your hormone levels, all of them, to process that food.
Okay.
Especially your insulin levels. And you cannot lose weight in the presence of insulin. Insulin is also the cause of a lot of diseases, Yeah. So if you're eating, like they tell us, 3 to 6 times a day, you're literally keeping your hormones level sky high, trying to process all the food, and you're just putting food on top in your stomach. You're just putting more food in your intestines, so your intestines can't even process the first meal before you put another meal and another meal and another meal on top of it. That also causes a lot of digestive issues too. So what you do with intermittent fasting by taking those long breaks is that you're letting your food digest completely. You're letting your hormone levels come back down and reset, and then you're putting it back up. And it's worked like a charm for me. I'm not saying this for everybody, but I mean, it even goes back to like prehistoric times, to where we were hunters and gatherers, to where you go out and hunt, you may not catch anything for a few days. Yeah. So you're not eating for those days. But when you catch something, you eat a whole bunch all at once. So you're getting that nourishment. So it holds your body off until the next time you eat. They actually did this clinical study on this one guy. He was like 287 pounds. He didn't eat anything by mouth for a year.
Oh.
They gave him like vitamins and minerals intravenously,
Right.
and he got down to 160 some pounds, very minimal skin,
Yeah.
didn't gain the weight back.
Well, that's weird.
Yep.
Interesting.
Because your body will eat. Your body will eat. And another thing about it too is like a lot of bodybuilders don't want to do intermittent fasting, or people that, you know what I'm saying, I have lost any muscle. I actually, what it forces your body to do is it forces your body to use the glycogen in your muscles as fuel, which is a much better fuel supply. Like I go to the gym, I work out for 2 hours, and I haven't eaten before that. I don't eat for hours after that, and I'm fucking supercharged.
Oh, that's nice.
And it never, and I, you know what I'm saying, it's been working wonders for me. So and it's also great for high blood pressure and diabetes.
Yeah.
Great for it.
That
But
is
they don't
stress
teach
and
you this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's amazing what I've learned just being in the medical field, talking to different people, talking to a lot of fucking hippies, you know what I'm saying, about this type of stuff. And they don't teach you this stuff, and we could be so much healthier, man. But it's like they fucking want to fuck you up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's fucking weird, man. Well, man, dude, this is we covered a lot of ground, man, and like I said, I always appreciate when you come by. I gotta have you more, at least like once a
month, motherfucker.
I'm
told
gonna
you.
put it in my my calendar and be like, all right,
I'm gonna start bugging your ass, man. I'll leave you alone. I'm gonna start bugging.
Yeah. Hey, it's September.
Yeah. At the first of the month, I'm gonna see your notification the first of every month.
Rent's due, and I'm here. Fucking start recording.
Rent's due, motherfucker.
Man, you got anything? This will probably be coming out on Monday. You got anything coming up?
Monday, I'll be at Westfax on the 29th.
29. Okay. Well,
29th. No, is that Friday? I'll be at.
Sure. I don't know.
Fuck it.
You got a website or something?
Nah, I'm building it right now. Just go to my Facebook page. You follow me on Facebook if you ain't sensitive.
Yeah, I better get ready to hear some really crazy shit in the middle of the night.
Or in the middle of the night, or anytime I'm up just thinking about shit.
You just went on this tirade about side pieces and stuff. And, you know what's so funny, man? And we'll close out with this because I work with a lot of gals, and one of the ladies that I work with, it was her husband's birthday. And I think one of the hosts is like, "Oh, so you're going to give him his yearly blowjob?" And they're like, "Ha ha ha!" They're kind of laughing. I'm like, "You understand? This is how the side piece was invented, right?" And it's so funny because what was funny to me is that all their faces went like, they got really pissed. I'm like, "What? That's how that shit happened."
Let me say this before we go. A side piece is nothing but a mistress, and mistresses have been a part of society since the beginning.
Right.
It's just that now it's this thing to where they don't want to play their position. You've had dudes from the past; they've had whole families across town. You never knew until they died. Dude, all the kids came to the funeral.
My uncle Nacho did that. Like,
exactly.
He fucking it was weird. Nobody knew about it until after he passed away, and then it's like they go to the funeral, and there's like this second family that comes by with these kids that look a lot like him, and they're like, "What the fuck?" But
you know what the thing about a lot of times the woman knows. She just like, as long as that shit don't affect my household, I don't give a fuck what you do over there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I know you're a man. You're gonna do that shit out in the streets when you go out there. Just don't let this shit affect the house. And that's my whole thing. These dudes out here trying to have these women, and they fucking up their house to be with this woman. And I'm like, that's not how you fucking do it.
Yeah.
If you gonna do it, do the shit right.
Right. Fucking talk to your lady. You never know what she's into. All right.
Yeah, you gotta train them, goddammit. They be anything you want to be if you know how to train them. Like the Ringling Brothers, goddammit.
Anthony Armstrong on Facebook, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter, DisJointed Films, or follow the Facebook page, DisJointed Podcast. Don't forget to check out the Food Biz Podcast. That's where I talk about the restaurant industry with Thor Markey, and that's all on denvercomedy.org. So appreciate you guys. Give us a like, give us a follow, give Mr. Armstrong a follow as well. And thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you next time.